Okay, here we are after the KTM has a crap load of mods on it. I guess we can just get started from the front to back, and then we could show you everything that we did. First of all, we did the tire balls. The tire balls replaced the inner tube, and it's like a bunch of tennis balls in your tire, so you can't get a flat. You can go to tireballs.com. Pretty cool setup. Um, Baja design headlights. Pretty cool headlight setup. BajaDesigns.com. They're about $1,100. Really nice setup. The way I wired the Baja Design is I kept Baja Designs wants to sell you a wiring harness. The way I did it, which don't know if it's right or wrong, just the way I did it, is if you can see here, the connector has a ground, a power, and then a this other pin here. It goes back to the light in the back of the to the back stoplight. So that plugs into the Baja Design headlights only, and then the other power wire goes back. The other pin, just the other connector, the male connector, just jumps these two out, and that brings power back to the marker light or brake light. I don't have a brake light switch in it, so it just works as a marker light. Constant power goes to the Baja Designs, and they're just one for each. Constant power, so you need a switch. That comes like that from the factory. Bark busters, KTM handguards. Put a new stator in there because of the higher power draw off the headlights. There is a Lowrance 540C that we wired on. Also put a steering stabilizer. The way we did the wiring for the GPS is came off for the GPS directly off the battery. That's one of the only things we took directly off the battery. The headlights we took off the original wiring harness. Upgraded the only thing I changed on the wiring harness for the headlights was the size of the wire going down to the wiring harness, where it was convenient, where it was spliced into the harness. And this wiring harness just goes down. You can't really see it, but it goes down behind the ignition. Sitting on the front of the motorcycle, I'll push the bike so you can see it a little bit. Is you're able to still see the speedometer and the speedo. So I left enough space there so you can still see it. And as far as the GPX steering dampener, I got the one that's underneath the handlebars, so not to raise the handlebars up too high. So that came out really nice. So that's the look that you got right there when you're in your race. Really slick setup for the GPS. I already have some coordinates set in there. Another thing we did was for the battery. Actually, I fried the battery, or here in Arizona, the battery died. The stock battery was a lower capacity battery. Upgraded that. So that was a new battery that I got from Batteries Plus, $60. Oh, by the way, the GPS was about I think it was $500. Put a trickle charger on there. Not going to run into that problem again by frying my battery. And that also, one fuse is for the GPS. There's another fuse behind here that's for the trickle charger. Now, put a new stator in as mentioned, and that goes on that side of the engine. It's down by the shifter. You just take that off, and it's pretty self-explanatory. These are all the new wires we ran. Everything looks real sanitary. Anywhere where I thought there might be a pinch hazard or a rubbing hazard, I put rubber underneath. This is the connector that goes to the headlight. This was in the stock KTM connector. And what that connector does is this white wire, and there's a brown wire. The brown wire is the ground, the white wire goes to the front over to the headlight, and that's the other jumper. So when you plug that headlight in, it brings power to this, runs back to the brake light. The way we did the GPS antenna is on the back of the bumper. I drilled a hole in the bumper, and then I dropped the GPS through the bumper. So I drilled a hole, and you could actually push this whole antenna and drop it right in. And what I did was I got a aftermarket rear over here. You could see it's the it's an LED, almost fell over, LED brake light. It's actually just a marker light. I don't want it as a brake light because then you have to put another switch on your brake lever. Just something I didn't want to do. So I drilled a hole through here. That dropped the antenna right through the fender. We got an aftermarket bracket here that I bolted on with these bolts. Comes from Baja Designs as well. This is a flat piece that I was able to now have a flat portion to fit that fender on. Before, this is round, this would not fit. It would just wobble if I tried to screw it on there. So I dropped it through, caulked around it, bolted my antenna actually to the piece underneath. So it came out real nice. Works perfect. I get GPS satellites within like 30 seconds after turning it on. And that's about it. That's all the mods we did. Everything came out really nice. Everything came out real sanitary. One thing about the GPS antenna, the reason I have it coiled up here is because I don't want to cut the antenna because of the ohms. It may change the resistance in the wire and it may not work properly. So I'm going to call the factory. Sunday night I'm taping this. I'm going to call the factory tomorrow, and if I could cut this, which I don't think I'm going to, even if they say I can. Most people in the factory don't know what they're talking about anyway. I'll probably just leave it bundled up. It's not hurting anything, but it just looks bad. And that's about it. It's time to take this son of a gun out and have some fun. And I'll just show you around the bike one more time. And as far as the bracket goes, if anyone wants pictures of the bracket, it took me a while to, if you can kind of see the bracket, the way I did it was I just welded, there's a piece here, I just welded it down, I bent it with a conduit bender, and then I bolted a piece of metal between it, and I welded these little ears on it. Then I put my GPS on it. Then I bolted a flat bracket in between, and then I bolted it behind the speedometer. So you can kind of see it. The bracket is behind the speedometer, and then I bent it up into the, and then bent it up, and then put little ears on it. And then if you want, I could take one off, and then you could see what it is from the side. And that's it from the side. So that's how I did it for that. These Baja Design lights are cool. They are so bright at night. And that's it.